Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am finally going to do the tattoo tour that I've been talking about in my last couple of videos. I haven't done one of these in probably 4 to 5 years, so I've gotten a couple more since then. So I just thought it would be fun to show them off and talk about them. I figured we're all in quarantine and I don't have much to do, so I thought now was as good as any time to talk about it. The last video that I did on my tattoos, I shouldn't even bring this up, but I'm going to. I just looked at it the other day for the first time in a really long time. I was reading the comments on it and there were so many comments that were talking about how shitty my attitude was. I rewatched the video and oh my god, they're right. I was a lot younger when I made that video and I think I was super focused on not coming off as too like fake or scripted, and I was trying too hard to be laid back. I kind of came off like sort of a bitch, so I'm sorry. So I think I'm gonna do this instead of in order because I'm not sure if I'll get it all right. I'm just gonna do head to toe and try and do it that way. I'll be sure to list the artists that did my tattoos in the description bar below. I might maybe describe a little bit why I got them, but to be quite honest with you, a lot of my tattoos I kind of got just because I wanted them, which there's nothing wrong with. So I'll just give a brief description of why I decided to get it and who I got it from. As much as I want to give pain levels, I don't know if I can accurately give that because a lot of my tattoos are pretty old and I'm not quite sure I remember really. There's maybe a handful that I really remember how bad they were, but kind of everything else is sort of I don't really remember, so I'm not really going to include that. If someone really wants to know and wants to comment and ask me, I can do my best, but for right now I'm probably not even going to mention it. So the first tattoo I'm going to talk about is my collarbone tattoo. I think this is like the highest one I have. This collarbone tattoo I think was my second one. This was done by Jake Ross, who is an artist that did a lot of my tattoos early on when I first started getting them. It's a lyric from a song called Clairvoyant from the band The Story So Far. This is probably one of my only tattoos that I don't want to use the word regret because I don't hate the tattoo. It's kind of a possibility that I might get it covered up only because I'm not really happy with the font that I picked at the time, and I'm also not necessarily happy with where I put it. I'd almost kind of rather have something else here, so if it's possible to get it covered up, I might. I haven't decided yet. I still definitely love the song, but it was kind of from a weird period of my life where I was kind of in a different mindset, and I kind of was in a different mindset, and I was just a completely different person back then, which is fine. I was a completely different person when I got half of these pieces done, but this one's a little bit different because it had more significance to it. The song just kind of really resonated with me at the time. It doesn't as much anymore, but it did at the time. But the second piece I'm going to talk about was also done by Jake Ross. This piece is technically unfinished. I want to get more added to it. This piece is of Matryoshka of the video game Okami, which is my all-time favorite video game. And that's kind of really the only meaning to it. I love video games, and that one is my favorite especially. It definitely made a huge impact on me when I was younger, and it still does to this day. It's like one of the most beautiful games I've ever played in my entire life. Originally, when I first got this done, I kind of had a plan to do a whole sleeve with the same theme. Obviously, things didn't really go that way, and I decided to change my mind, but I still love it. I just want to get a little bit more added to it, maybe some cherry blossoms at the top. And the next piece is on my inner arm. It's my sewing machine. The AMK is my grandmother's initials and the MAK is my mother's initials. Both my mother and my grandmother were tailors. I actually lived in the back of a tailor shop when I was a baby with my mom because that's where she worked at the time. And sewing's always been a really huge part of the women in my family, and I just thought it would be a really good thing to kind of represent the strong women in my life. I got some roses at the top and the bottom to kind of just pull it all together, and I'm pretty sure I let him pick the color. I just still love this teal color. It kind of reminds me of like a vintage sewing machine, and it's easily one of my favorite tattoos that I have. This was done by Johnston. He's done a couple things for me, and I just love his work so much. And the last one on this arm is my little sewing rat. This was actually sort of from a flash sheet. The artist that did this one, her name is Terlop. She works at Inkwell in Painesville, Ohio. She does a lot of animal work, and she already had some of these little sewing rats with these little thimbles of thread drawn up, and I loved it so much because not only did I used to have pet rats, and they were some of the best pets I've ever had, but it also kind of tied in with my sewing machine, and I thought it was perfect, so I ended up having her do one of them for me, and she's just so stinking cute. I love this tattoo so much. At first it was going to be a lot smaller, but we changed the size so that we can fill the big space I had in between my sewing machine and Oh, you know what? I just realized that's not the last tattoo on my arm. Sorry. And actually the last one on this arm is my Matryoshka doll. It's a Russian nesting doll that Rob Johnston also did. My father's side of the family is Russian, and it's kind of like a little tribute to my grandmother on my dad's side. So if you haven't noticed, I kind of have a lot of family-oriented tattoos. And they're just, for some reason, some of my favorite tattoos are the ones from my family. My family might not agree so much. My parents think they look cool, but they're not super stoked on the fact that they're on my body forever, but you know. I'm going to move on to my other arm, and before I show you any of my other arm tattoos, you'll notice that all of the tattoos in my left arm are in color, and all the tattoos in my right arm are in black and gray. This is actually some weird fantasy plan I had when I was really young before I started getting tattoos, and I was always like, I'm gonna get a full color on one arm and black and gray on the other, and I don't know, when I was younger, I always kind of thought it was gonna be one of those things that I totally forgot about and never ended up doing, but I've actually followed through with it, so that's kind of my plan still, is I'm just gonna keep getting black and gray on my right arm and color on my left. I think it might look kind of cool. If not, I'm fucked, it's my body, so. So first off, I'll start with my hand tattoos, I think. This is my knuckle tattoo. It's just a wreath. This is one of those tattoos that I literally just got because I wanted it, and that was kind of it. But it's actually still one of my favorites. I don't know, I feel like it makes my hand look like, I don't know, dainty's not the right word, just like nicer. Like it makes, I want to get more finger tattoos, I just don't know what I want yet. Kvasty did this. He used to work at Inkwell in Painesville. He now works at Stay True in Mentor, I believe. Like I said, I'll double check all of these because there's a lot, so I kind of forget, but I will put them all in the description box if you guys want to check them out if you're local to me. Another one that Kvasty did is the other one on my hand. This one is the word outlier. This is a song by the band Counterparts, and I still love this one. I want to get something else on my other hand in the same spot. I just haven't decided what I want yet, probably another song title. I got this a couple years ago, and surprisingly, it's held up really well, and I don't know why, because this is my writing hand, like I write with this hand, and every time I see Chris, he always wants to see it because he just doesn't understand how it's not more faded at the bottom, because this tattoo's definitely probably 4 years old, at least 3 to 4 maybe. I don't know, I'm lucky. I'm kind of shocked still because I feel like other tattoos I have need touched up more than this one does, but I'm not mad about it. The next one I'm going to show you guys is my portrait tattoo. This is the only portrait I have. However, with how nice it turned out, it's possible I might get another one someday. I'm not too sure yet. But this is my portrait of Jim Morrison. I got a lot of compliments on this one in my last video. This was also done by Jake Ross. He definitely specializes in portraits. So if you are in the Northeast Ohio area or the Midwest somewhere and you want a portrait, he's your guy, for sure. At least when all this stuff is over and you could actually go get tattooed again. I know I'm saying this about pretty much all of my tattoos, but this is absolutely 100% one of my favorites. And I always used to say I'm never getting a portrait tattoo, ever, 100%, because they're gonna turn out like dog shit. I was proven wrong. I don't know why. I saw his other work that he did with them, and I just said screw it and did it. I love Jim Morrison. I won't go into detail why. It's just been a musical influence for my entire life. And going right above him, this is my first ever tattoo that I got right after I turned 18. It's just a sketched out Canon film camera with the word focus underneath. And this was done by an artist named McCrone. So my issue with this one, I'm not sure if everybody feels this way about their first tattoos or like what they would do differently if they went back in time, but again, I don't dislike the tattoo, it's just the way that I had him do it, and it's not his fault, it's mine. The way I had him do the sketchy style, over time it looks kind of muddy now, which isn't a big deal, you can still tell what it is, and also I'm not a huge fan of the font I used for the word. I kind of wish I didn't have the word at all, but it's okay. It's still commemorative to my youth. I still love it. I'm almost kind of okay with it not being exactly the style of what I would want now. It brings back good memories, so I still love the tattoo. And I believe the last one, sometimes I forget, on this arm is my flowers and my switchblade. It's kind of dot work-ish, sort of, but this is also one of my favorites, surprise, surprise. This was done by Vandevier at Voodoo Monkey in Cleveland. I believe she still works there. It was originally kind of made up to be a filler, so there's not really any specific meaning behind this one. It just wanted pretty flowers. So that's pretty much it for my upper body. So we'll move down to my thighs. I have both of my thighs done. The first one I'll talk about is my oldest one. This was, I think, my third tattoo, maybe. Probably still 18, maybe 19. I definitely wasn't 20 yet. I have this fox head. This was also by Jake Ross. And he also did the compass and like the berries and the leaves and stuff underneath it later. I decided to add that later because it just kind of seemed unfinished with just the fox head. I still love this one, but it definitely needs touched up. It's super old. I feel like my thigh tattoos are in the worst shape because of, I'm assuming, wearing pants. I don't know how much of a difference that makes. These are definitely pretty worn out, so I am gonna probably eventually get this touched up. Literally just got it because I love foxes, and that's that's pretty much it. And the other thigh, my left thigh, is my cow. There were some arguments in the comments in my first video a couple years ago about whether or not this was a cow because of the horns. That's fine. It looks like a cow, and that's all that really matters to me. Maybe I didn't do my research enough, but it's one of my favorite tattoos, so I don't care that much, I guess. This was done by Harmon. He used to work in Toledo. I believe he works in Detroit now, but he does a lot of this animal work, kind of like Catherine does too, and his work is so beautiful. He actually does a lot of paintings and print work too, so I highly suggest you check his stuff out. I'll link his Instagram down below too. I'm not sure if he's still doing commissions or selling, but he does really, really beautiful work. Again, I just got this one because cows are my favorite animal, and that's it, so. So the next one I'm going to talk about is actually the most recent one I had done. Rob Johnston did this one in Columbus. This is a My Chemical Romance piece. I've wanted a My Chem piece since middle school, and it was one of those tattoos I really wanted as a young girl before I could even get them that I still wanted to get as a full-grown adult. Just a disclaimer, I did book this before I knew they were coming back, but it's even cooler that they came back right around the time that I was getting it. The words are "Give 'em Hell Kid," which is one of their songs. This band just impacted me greater than any band ever has throughout my entire life, and I just really wanted a tattoo to commemorate it and I guess, I don't know, show my undying love for them, you know. He kind of drew it in a comic booky way to sort of pay homage to Gerard Way's comic book work, and I love it so much. It's definitely one of my favorite pieces. I want to start to get more work done on my legs because I feel like most of my tattoos are on my upper body, so I definitely want to get more leg pieces soon, and I love where I put this, and I love everything about it, and I'm still super stoked on it, if you couldn't tell. I just really love it. And then just lastly, I'll go to my tiny ones on my ankle and foot. I have this one on my ankle. I feel really bad, but I don't remember who did this one. It's just a little tooth that I got as a Friday the 13th flash deal at a smaller shop that I don't usually go to, and that was kind of it. So I might try and find out who did it, but I honestly don't remember, and I feel pretty bad about it, but no significance to this. I just thought it looked cool. That's pretty much it. That's just why I got it, so. And lastly on my foot is this little cat on a broomstick. This was actually technically a Halloween flash too, but Harmon did this one as well. I chose this one because it reminded me of Kiki's Delivery Service, and that's also pretty much the only reason I got this one. From what I remember, this was the most painful tattoo I've ever had. I don't know, some people say that feet are really easy and some people say they're not. They're not easy for me, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna do it again, which sucks because I see really pretty feet pieces. I don't know, that sounds weird. Pieces on the foot that are really pretty, but I just don't know if I could sit through it. I don't know. So anyway, guys, I think that's it. I hope I didn't talk too fast. I have a really bad habit of doing that, so hopefully I didn't rush through this too fast. As far as future plans, yeah, I'm definitely getting more. It's more so I have ideas of where I want my next ones as opposed to what they're gonna be. I have some ideas here and there, but I'm not sure where I'm gonna put some of them yet. I definitely want more hand pieces. I definitely want something maybe like a stomach or whatever you call it, under boob, sternum. I definitely want to do something around there too, but I'm also trying to save money. So please let me know if you guys like this video. I kind of had fun making it. I'm excited to try different things like this. I think I want to make a couple more tattoo related videos in the future, not necessarily about mine, but maybe just talking about them, maybe giving advice, or just talking about maybe some tattoos I used to want that I don't want anymore, or something fun like that that I might try. So definitely let me know what you guys want to see. I'm having a lot of fun uploading to YouTube again, actually. I was really scared at first, but I'm starting to feel more comfortable, and it's been fun. It's been cool. So I'm excited. And thanks to any of the nice comments I got on my last two videos. I know they weren't anything crazy or special, but I had fun making them, and it makes me happy when you guys enjoy those too. So feel free to subscribe. I don't have an uploading schedule. I'm just kind of doing stuff as I go, but obviously with everybody trapped in their house, I have more time to make videos among a couple of other projects I'm working on. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye!